October 26, 2019. Well, I was going to do a a piece on the coming reset here in 2021. But I was watching this movie earlier today. It's called Reset. And about 6 minutes and 53 seconds in, I'm seeing so much satanic stuff I can help it. I'm going to talk about the deception of our court systems, especially the federal courts. What is this? And why does this say Nexus on the wall? You got 5 senses. You know, you can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, and you can feel. There's also 6th sense. Examples of Nexus in a sentence. The oft-repeated claim that any person on the planet can be connected to any other person through a nexus of 6 relationships. Okay? Does that make any sense? As a nexus for 3 great religions, Jerusalem has been troubled as well as the illustrative histories. Okay. So, it's a supernatural connection. Let's just put it that way. Okay? Coincidentally, did you know about Nexus, the United States Custom and Border Protection? Nexus program allowed pre-screened travelers expedited processing when entering the United States and Canada. Program members used dedicated processing lanes and designated northern border ports of entry. Nexus kiosks when entering Canada by air and global entry kiosks when entering the United States via Canada pre-clearance airports. Nexus members also receive expedited processing at marine reporting locations. Now, if you don't know what a kiosk is, it's that stupid little machine that spits out the tickets and you know, looks like an ATM, but not quite. LexisNexis. I don't know if anybody's ever heard about LexisNexis. You would if you were in the legal genre of like a lawyer or, you know, corporate lawyer or whatever. Everybody uses LexisNexis for resource, for doing research, for legal research. They keep the most records. However, in doing so, they also print out forms with their logo on it, which I think actually invalidates it in court. And that's something you should want to look into because they're altering a document, an official government document. Oh yeah, you heard me right. They have a contract with the United States to print the documents, but they don't have the right to put their logo on there. Let's talk about canon law. Canon law is basically religious law. It's also built into our court system whether you know it or not. Let's also talk about attorney license. As per the United States Supreme Court, a practice of law cannot be licensed by any state. Now, why do they have upper and lowercase s on the states? You didn't see that? Well, let me bring it to your attention. Let's make this a lot bigger. A little too big. The practice of law cannot be licensed by any state or state. Why is this bigger and this smaller? Because this means constitutional state. This means the corporate United States of America. If you don't remember what I told you about that, we'll go through USA Inc. one more time. The practice of law is an occupation of common right. These are all court cases that were in the Supreme Court, and those are the documents. And I'll leave this thing in here for you. Let's go a little smaller on this. Okay. The certificate from the state Supreme Court only authorized one to practice law in courts as members of the state judicial branch of government. They can only represent wards of the court, infants, persons of unsound mind. 5. A certificate is not a license to practice law as an occupation, nor to do business as a law firm. The state bar card is not a license. It is a union dues card. The bar is a professional association, like actors union, painter unions, etc. No other association, even doctors, issue their own license. All are issued by the state. It is a non-governmental private association. See Texas Attorney General Don Morales' letter As per this letter, the state does not issue licenses, then they are not issued by his office. The state bar is an unconstitutional monopoly. See Article 1, Section 26 Texas Bill of Rights. B. An illegal and criminal enterprise. C. Violates Article 2, Section 1, Separation of Power Clause of the Constitution. D. There is no power or authority for joining of legislative, judicial, or executive as the bar and the Supreme Court of Texas are doing. All members are monopolies bar members in violation of right to work laws of Texas. So this is talking about Texas, but it still applies nationwide for the most part. Now, it just talks about the bar and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. Then it starts talking about treason. So, most lawyers are our enemy. A small handful that are good must get on the right side and help us win our war. They are not on the side. Treason. A lawyer and a lawyer-judge courts are unconstitutional. Since the biggest crimes in the world are committed in courtrooms by lawyers and lawyer-judges against the people, as the lawyers and their bar association, which affiliated with each others internationally, have joined the international conspiracy against the people of the United States of America to destroy the United States of America from within. Treason. I'm going to leave it there on that one, and I'm going to move on to my next subject, which is part of this whole key of what I'm talking about, the corruption of our courts. One of the greatest tricks the New World Order did to enslave the people of the world was to secretly create a corporate version of counties, cities, states, and countries. Now, why did they do that? You may have missed this video, USA Inc. Part 2. The first one was USA Inc. Okay? And I made these videos for a specific reason. Hardly anybody watched them. When you go into a federal court, you ever wonder what the real reason is that the judge runs out of the courtroom? Your Honor, I am a living being. The flesh lives and the blood flows. I ask humbly for a remedy. That's what you tell the judge the first time. The judge leaves because he does not want to give remedy, but stay in honor. The judge comes back and establishes the court again and goes on like nothing has happened. The court transforms into a maritime court or admiralty law, a higher court of jurisdiction. You must reestablish your standing once again. Your Honor, I am a living being. The flesh lives and the blood flows. Your Honor, I humbly ask for cure and maintenance. Now, this is when he comes back. Because you are in the Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction Court, now you ask for cure and maintenance. The judge may be totally freaked out at this point and leave again if you are in a federal court. Now, he comes back again. He comes back as a priest. So you are in a temple now. When the judge comes back on the third time, he's a priest under canon law. Why did I mention canon law? Because it's a religious law. That's the deception of the courts. You go from a federal court to an admiralty law court and then eventually end up in a religious court. Thus, when the judge comes back the third time, he is a priest under canon law. Thus you say the following: Your Honor, I wish to establish that I am a living being. The flesh lives and the blood flows, and we are sovereign, and nothing stands between myself and the divine. Because if you don't do this, then you have no standing in the court and are treated as cargo going to the warehouse. Thus shalt own property with no rights. Listen to the phone conversation as it explains the basis of what procedure to do this in the depth and back of the brown. Okay, so what I'm going to say here is that if you do not utter these three phrases every time the judge comes back, you become cargo. And you know what they do with cargo? They put it in a warehouse. And what do you think that warehouse they call it? They call it prison. The deception of the U.S. courts with a bunch of religious priests in black robes. Down here, it'll tell you all about it. Case law is unconstitutional. Black robes because they're in a priesthood. That's what the deception of our court system is. It's a religious court. And those who say, oh, I don't want Sharia law in this country. Well, you already have a religious law in this country, and it's called canon law. All these links will be down below in the show more, so you can examine these articles and whatever, these videos for yourself. And I suggest you watch my USA Inc. that tells you all about how this corporation works. And my number 2 one, USA Inc. Part 2, the 3 types of U.S. citizenship. Because in the first 4 minutes, it goes into canon law, it goes into maritime law, it goes into how the courts deceptively are religious courts or they're maritime admiralty courts. So you're either on a ship and you're cargo, you have to declare yourself flesh and blood to be treated as a maritime sailor. Otherwise you are nothing but cargo and they can do whatever they want with you. Share, like, thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't give a shit. It's up to you. If you want to learn this stuff, you want to know better how to defend yourself in court and everything else to protect your rights under the Constitution that have been sadly snuck away and deceptively taken from you and put you into either an admiralty court or a religious court. See how corrupt the courts are. And if you watch my thing on the corporation, you'll find out that it's just a code of conduct and rules. It's not law. When this country became a corporation, they threw the Constitution out. You've been warned.